Good morning to one and all present here. In this video, we take an introductory look at the concept of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive way to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of people around you. There are five key elements to emotional intelligence. They are self awareness, self regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Feeling both positive and negative emotion is a natural part of being human. We might use the word negative to describe more difficult emotions, but it doesn't mean those emotions are bad or we shouldn't have them. Still, most people would probably rather feel a positive emotion than a negative one. Positive emotions. Positive emotions are emotions that we typically find pleasurable to experience. Positive emotions are pleasant responses to our environment that are more complex and targeted than simple sensation. Experiencing emotions like happiness, excitement, joy, hope, and inspiration is visual for anyone who wants to lead a happy and healthy life. Negative emotions. Negative emotion can be described as any feeling which causes you to be miserable and sad. These emotions make you dislike yourself and others, reduce your confidence and self-esteem, and general life satisfaction. Emotion that can become negative are hate, anger, jealousy, sadness, lust. Have you ever felt one of these emotions and thought to yourself, I wish I wasn't experiencing this emotion? Although you may have experienced this once or twice, generally at a time when we think we shouldn't feel positive emotions. It's easy to see that this list is full of pleasurable emotions that people tend to seek out. We know that we need positive emotions to function effectively, grow, and thrive. So, if it's basically universally unpleasant for us to experience negative emotions and universally pleasant and desirable to experience positive emotion, do we actually need the negative emotions at all? As it turns out, yes, negative emotions are really necessary for a healthy life. This is true for two big reasons. Negative emotions give us a counterpart to positive emotions. Without that negative, would the positive emotion still feel so good? Negative emotion serve evolutionary purposes, encouraging us to act in ways that boost our chances of survival and help us grow and develop as people. Without fear, would you be here today, or would you have engaged in some risky practices, putting yourself in unnecessary danger without disgust? Would you have been able to refrain from putting any of the many harmful substances that you have access to as a total? As unpleasant as they may be, it can be denied that negative emotions serve important purposes in our life. It's actually quite common for people to experience stress in neutral and positive situations as well. Hence, emotion plays an inevitable part in human communication as well as in visual role which shapes our abilities, and it also has potential in professional competence of emotional health of our human beings. Positive and negative emotion both have important roles to play when it comes to the brain, but they are generally separate roles. For instance, positive emotions have been shown to impact the brain, like they can increase our performance by lifting our spirits to distracting us like negative emotions. Positive emotions can trigger the reward pathways in the brain, contributing to lower level of stress hormone and greater well-being. Positive emotion may help us broaden our horizons and widen our brain scope of focus. Meanwhile, negative emotions are known to affect the brain. Whether you know it's a emotional intelligence or you're familiar with the idea of soft skills more broadly, emotional intelligence plays an important role in our daily lives. Emotional intelligence underpins our professional relationships, interpersonal communication, and ability to motivate ourselves. If you ever held yourself back when you felt like lashing out, you're already familiar with one way of emotional intelligence works. Like other aspects of the self, it's not tangible, but even though we can't see emotional intelligence, we can certainly feel its impact. The processing of emotions. Processing of emotions is defined as the modification of memory structure that underlies our emotions. Reduction of emotional response. There are a number of different things that can cause emotional numbness to occur, while depression, anxiety are the most common causes. Others include stress and stress hormones. Under the control of psychological and psychoneurological mechanism, the early life experiences are associated with severe and long lasting effects on the behavior and the emotional functioning, which in turn we thought to increase the risk for unipolar depression and the other disorders of affect regulations of our human beings. Neurological and psychological mechanisms through which adverse early life experience convert the risk or poorly understand in this concept. Analyzing the different dimensions of emotional intelligence. Emotions also play a role of internal guiding system. Alert. It plays a role of social protection and depend. This dimension helps us to interact with others, the lost awareness, fix our boundaries. It is very important for our human beings to fix our boundaries in physical as well as for our mental well-being. Next is the study of emotional intelligence. Understand the emotions. They may be positive or negative emotions. Recognizing your emotion and learning to manage them is one of the most important skills you can have. In fact, people who are good at noticing how they feel and can calm themselves down or adjust the behavior are more likely to do well in life, have healthy relationships, and manage difficulties and setbacks. Interviews for requirement. Interviewing is an important step in the employee selection process. If done effectively, the interview enables the employer to determine if an applicant's skills, experience, and personality met the job requirement. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is a social skill. A social skill is any competence facilitating interaction and communication with others, where social rules and relations are created, communicated, and changed in verbal and non-verbal ways. The process of learning these skills is called socialization. Lack of such skills can cause social awkwardness. Next, the management skills. Human resource planning is a technique company uses to balance its flow of employees and prevent situations such as team member shortages or surpluses. Management skills also ensures that business has the right people with the appropriate skills and ability to build a strong workplace. Human resource planning. Human resource planning is a process that identifies current and future human resources needed for an organization to achieve its goal. Human resource planning should serve as a link between human resource management and the overall strategic plan of an organization. Emotional intelligence is a paradox because emotion comes from heart whereas intelligence comes from mind. Emotional and intelligence are an interlinked one. Emotion can influence thinking. On the other hand, thinking can influence emotions. The fourth branch model. It is a model which was developed by Mayer and Salovey. It is most commonly known as fourth branch model of emotional intelligence. This model proposes that four fundamental emotions related abilities of emotional intelligence. They are perceiving emotion, facilitating thought, understanding emotion, and managing emotions. Their abilities are perceiving emotions. It is emotion which helps us to notice emotion, facilitating thinking through thinking through thoughts, understanding emotional meaning as well as managing emotions. Perceiving emotion. Perceiving emotion may mean noticing body language and other non-verbal cues. It is also known as the ability to accurately notice emotions. For instance, a mom may notice that her child is sucking on his finger when he takes him to the babysitter for the first time. This expresses the child feels panic when he was leaving his mother. The identifying emotions in one's physical state and design an artwork is also known as perceiving emotions. These emotions can be found through appearance, sound, language, behavior, facial expression, gesture, and tonal action. This ability includes expressing emotion accurately and to express the needs related to them, discussing emotion and communicating, discriminate between honest and honest expression of feeling among our human beings. The next step is using emotion to facilitate thought. Even intense emotions like anger or sadness can be used. Ultimately, anger can serve as a healthy motivating force to fight against an injustice or to defend yourself from danger. Sadness can provide useful information about an important loss. Decision it also helps in decision taking, which help us to from thinking, swings in emotional mood, and passing judgment. The next one is understanding emotions. It is an ability which helps us to understand our emotions. It also helps us to understand the power and the consequences of emotions. Relationship emotions, thoughts, and behavior. Emotions are important to continue relations and survival of human beings. The next one is managing emotions. It is a process of overcoming one's own emotion by taking responsibility. Proceeding even negative emotions can be converted to positive emotions. Positive emotions should be enhanced in order to develop and survive of our humans in this society. Thank you.